Hey guys, I want to welcome you to the weekly Wednesday for the Financial Freedom newsletter, where every week, every Wednesday, we delve into something inspirational, motivational, something excerpt taken from the Financial Freedom weekly newsletter. Wherever you are, if you're listening on Spotify, on iTunes, Google, be sure to click the like, subscribe, share, comment. And without ado, let's get into the show. Hey guys, welcome to this week's podcast episode for the Financial Freedom Podcast. I'm your host, Dr. Christopher Liu, and I'm really excited to have on the show today our guest, Jessica Stepnowski. She's a life coach and spiritual guide, and she's got a fantastic story, very inspirational, and we're going to figure out how to remove the baggage and learn to live freely. So I'm happy to welcome her to the show. So Jessica, welcome.
Hi, thank you so much for having me.
Yeah, I know we had connected through Podmatch, and what I'm very interested in is this idea of energy healing and trauma healing and manifesting as a life coach. So tell the audience about your story and how you got started.
So many things to kind of dive into there. It really started with just being an ambitious human being. And so I grew up in a small town in Ohio, and I always knew I wanted to live in a big city, and Los Angeles was always on my mind, always on my heart. And so after I graduated from college, I decided to move to Los Angeles. And I think what's really impactful in my story is that, like a lot of people, we went to school for one thing and we do something completely different. And I think that's really where we start to talk about the energy work and really manifesting, because little did I know I was already manifesting at such a young age to move to a big city and really have a lot of opportunity around me. So I started working in corporate America. I was doing marketing and for a fashion company. And so through that experience, found myself kind of feeling not fulfilled. And I really had nothing to connect to with fulfillment. I just was like, okay, this is what I went to school for. I'm doing the thing. And so little did I find out that my body actually started to repel a lot of the work that I was doing. I was like sitting at a desk all day and just being bossed around, so to speak. And I think when you're starting in your younger years as like your first I like to say big girl job or big boy job, you're kind of doing a lot of the things that you don't really want to do, but you're like here to learn and absorb. And so my body started to respond and react to the way that I was feeling. And that's where I kind of started to now have the awareness that, like my body was actually like projecting the work that I was doing. I ended up gaining 30 pounds in 5 months, which was very rapid and not normal. And so when that happened, I really had to take a hard look in the mirror metaphysically or metaphorically, I should say, and ask myself, like, what is not fulfilling myself? And is there a reason why I'm putting on so much weight to the point where it was making it even harder to just be at work? And so through that experience, I fell in love with personal training. I fell in love with learning how to eat right for my body. And I ended up, long story short, starting my own online fitness company. And that was kind of my first inspiration of manifesting my dreams. And I ended up quitting my corporate job in 2019, started doing a lot of fitness. I started working with a lot of women to help them empower themselves through the gym and also eating right and learning how to speak to themselves in a better way. So using the mindset there. But little did I know that was just the beginning of my journey of becoming a life coach. And so through that experience, I recognized that a lot of my clients were mirroring me. And I think as service providers, when we work with clients, we have to take in consideration where we are in our own journey. And a lot of the times our clients are triggering us and mirroring the parts of ourselves that we need to work on. And that's exactly what was happening. And so when I started to see the reflection that there was still work to be done within my emotional health and my also spiritual health, I took a step back from fitness coaching and I wanted to get into meditation. So that's really where a lot of the work started to open up to me when we talk about energy, when we talk about manifestation, all of the, woo-woo stuff. It really kind of came to me through meditation to start with.
Interesting. Yeah, I mean, it opens up so many directions, but one thing that I've always been curious about is this idea when you say opens it up, and like I've always thought about, like, all the trauma everybody's been through, and and some people do they say energy work, but I don't really understand what it means, and they say letting go, and kind of describe it, or kind of visceral what it feels like. That's why I love getting guests such as yourself, to dissect this out.
Yeah. And, it's kind of in the similar way where I've always been an open-minded person. And, I really do feel like our environments when we were growing up always shape who we are. And that's not to say that we get to hold on to the cards that we're dealt. A lot of people think that, well, this is who I am. I just have to be who I am. And it's like, no, that's just bypassing the experience of taking ownership of the beliefs that you have, or maybe, like you said, the traumas that you've had. So you have to have that awareness to start with. But as I've been an open person, I never felt like I needed to delve into myself, because I'm just, like I said, not taking ownership. I'm like, I just am who I am. But then my clients started to really trigger me with a lot of the emotional baggage or trauma that they had around their weight, around their body image, around their relationships. And I'm like, this is so much deeper than weight, right? It's so much deeper than like getting strong in the gym. And so when I started to reflect on me, I was in a relationship at the time, and our relationships are our biggest mirrors. And I think we all can agree that there's always something to learn from it, like a past breakup or a partner that we've had. And to me, when you start to get curious about how that relationship ended, or how it's going, and how you're navigating the problems in the relationship, that's where you start to awaken this self-awareness. And so when we talk about the energy work, or when we talk about manifestation and all of that, it's really just opening yourself up to the higher power. I really think that everything is one. And so no matter what you believe in, there's always something that is working for you. And so you just have to be open to the concept, acknowledging that everything is happening for you. And so when you open yourself up to that, you can then look at yourself and look at your past experiences, and the way that your parents or your caregivers navigated the environment that you were in, I'll throw this out there too. So from 0 to 7 years old, we are basically like a sponge. And that's when we're really absorbing everything from the lens of the unconscious. So we're basically walking unconscious between 0 and 7. And so when we're walking unconscious, at that young age, we're just absorbing how we are learning how to navigate the world. And so a lot of people share, when we talk about trauma, they talk about like a survival pattern or a survival instinct. And that's where those patterns and those beliefs start to embed into our subconscious. So it's like 95% of our mind is unconscious. So it makes sense why we are the way that we are, because a lot of it is from old programming or trauma. And so when you kind of start to delve into that area, you start to feel, in my opinion, more accepting of like who you are and what you've gone through. And I think that's like the first step with getting to know the belief systems and getting to know how your trauma plays a role into who you are today.
Yeah, really interesting. And these energy work is what I recently finished the book, The Body Keeps the Score, which is really interesting, where it's talking about like trauma manifesting in, different areas. What other sort of resources helped you to open this up and kind of work with the healing?
That's a great question. And that book is phenomenal, by the way. Really, I have to say Dr. Joe Dispenza really opened my mind, like cracked me open. If you've ever heard of Breaking the Habit of Being Yourself, he really infuses neurology and spirituality and quantum physics. that was a really powerful book for me, because it really, again, it helped me understand why I was the way that I was, and why I had the thought patterns and the belief systems, and recognizing that I get to create my own reality. I think a lot of people, when we talk about like new age manifestation or energy work, they always reference like how to manifest quicker and like making your own reality. And it's true. Like when you use quantum physics and when you understand at least basic understanding, which that book will provide, you get to learn like how you create your reality and how you've actually created your past and all of that. So when we talk about energy work, it's again really thinking about who you connect with, like whatever higher power you choose to believe in. So for me, it's like I believe in God, my spirit guides, I believe in the universe, like universal energy. And so there's different modalities of energy work. But the one that's primarily that I've been really called to has been Reiki. And so when you're basically just connecting to everything that's within you. You're just accessing it. So my mentor told me, which I thought was really powerful, is that everyone actually has the healing abilities within their own hands. And that's where we actually are transmitting the healing energy. And we have about 10%. So she gave a great example: when you stub your toe, or when you bump your knee, what do? You put your hand there first, right? And so you're actually transmitting your own frequency into that pain to help it go away. And so all Reiki is just amplifying that energy. And then you're able to learn how to use it in different places of the body, on yourself or with your clients. So I think that's kind of, coming back to your initial comment on how the body keeps score and how we manifest our physical ailments.
Yeah, it's really interesting because what everything you're describing is really fascinating. And one thing that's really interesting is that, like, when you're out of alignment, and then you were describing your manifestations, and then sort of like universe kind of pushing you towards, and then you have to go through these series, and then it's kind of like then it was like what your RAS and what you filter out, and then kind of manifesting and law of attraction and abundance. Really interesting. This idea with Reiki, when you tune into that, what sort of things are you doing? Or like I've heard like healers can move the energy around, they can kind of brush it off. What are you doing?
I'm trying to think about how to put this into like a context where it might make sense to an average person. But yes, you can move energy, and there are different levels of advancement with healing. And so I really want to preface that, because there are some people that like shamans, for example, they will have a different level of energy and what they can do versus maybe someone who is just getting their level 1 Reiki, right? For example. And what's really cool is that we all can like access those gifts. We just have to like, one, believe that they're true and just activate them. So when we talk about Reiki healing, I really primarily use it with my clients when I'm doing breathwork. So breathwork is a really powerful tool to access the unconscious mind, which is what I'm absolutely obsessed with, because to me, the only way that you can make change is by getting into that deep neuro programming, which is the unconscious. And so when I'm doing breath work with clients, they're already in that deep meditative state. And so they're already navigating that inner landscape of them. So meaning that a lot of emotions can come up, traumas can come up, a lot of things that are just like really repressed memories or emotions that we've all gone through. And there's some degree that we all have repressed emotions or experiences. When we are activating the healing work, for me personally, at this level that I'm at, I'm able to sense where they're blocked in their body and being able to utilize the energy to either open it up more, and like if there's too much energy there, I can like kind of sweep it away, or if there's not enough, I can fill it. And there's also different symbols that you can use to help amplify what they're feeling. And really at the end of the day, for me, breathwork is a really great opportunity for them to have an emotional release. So Reiki can specifically help them release that trauma or whatever is like blocking them from seeing their path or seeing their truth. I hope that was a good description.
It's interesting because it's like talking about the different levels, and like I've had health, like house cleaning to clean out the, bad energy or whatever previous energy.
Oh, like a energy clearing.
And
Yeah.
then, with a shaman. And then, I've been working with like psychic or people that can help you develop your intuition, work with your intuition more. That sounds kind of similar, like developing your intuition and working with it, and kind of taking the impressions and making sense out of it. Again, again, this is not. It's really interesting to see how you can, what the work that you're doing. Then one thing is, you talk about, this whole process, and now you're actually helping clients do that. So, and you have your business. So tell us more about that, and what you do and how you're helping clients.
It started again, like I shared it, with my own journey of kind of exploring myself. And when I started to awaken my intuition, like you mentioned, a lot of things just became more clear of like why I wasn't feeling aligned in my fitness business and why I didn't want to do, an average job per se. And so when I got into meditation, that just opened up my whole field. And I had a really powerful experience through breathwork and things like that. And so all to say, I was just opening my intuition and for the answers to come that were already within me. And it came to me that I need to help people with their emotional stuff. And I was like, oh, funny, I need to help myself there. It's funny how when we're, as entrepreneurs, it's usually something we've already gone through that we're now like learning how to teach ourselves to do. And then we're helping other people. So through my journey, it's been navigating a spiritual awakening, opening my intuition, and also learning how to navigate life and live life more through your heart and living life on purpose. That is something that I know is just a part of the work that I'm meant to do here on this plane of earth. I started working with a business mentor and a life coach for the first time, and it was very powerful because, again, he helped me tap into my unconscious and help me navigate those inner landscapes of myself. I created my first program in early 2021, and I got at first I was nervous because I'm like, ooh, this transition is going to be kind of weird. People see me as this like fitness influencer. And now I'm switching to like talking about emotions and trauma. And then I'm like, what, how's my audience going to receive me? And then within the first like 3 months, I ended up signing like 6 to 7 clients. And I'm like, okay, this is it. This is right for me, So really now as I've evolved over the past 2.5 years, my practices has evolved. And so I just got certified in NLP Master Practitioner training, which is just super cool, diving deeper into the unconscious mind and learning how to utilize quantum energy and quantum physics to talk to the unconscious and make change happen. So the way that I work with my clients is helping them peel back the layers of their unconscious mind, helping them get out of their own way and utilizing different modalities to access the unconscious mind, whether that is coaching or if I'm doing breath work or energy work on them. And at the end of the day, I'm just holding the space for them to like realize their own answers. And the way that we do that is just by accessing our intuition. So just kind of like compiling all of those to co-create a really powerful experience for them.
Wow. Yeah, very fascinating. And how can people contact you, follow you, check out your social media, etc.?
Yeah, so I'm primarily on Instagram. That's kind of where I hang out. You can reach me either DM or you can go on the link there and check out my different links that I have going on. But it's Jessica Marie Step, and also have a website, very straightforward, Jessica. And I'm also hosting a women's retreat this September in Taos, New Mexico.
Nice. Yeah. And for all the listeners out there, let's thank Jessica Marie for coming on to the show and talking about these interesting concepts about emotional freedom and healing. They actually work, but it takes a lot of work and it takes a lot of intention. And all of her resources will be in the links and show notes. And with that, thanks so much for coming on to the podcast.
Thank you so much for having me.
Hope you really enjoyed that wonderful, inspirational, motivational piece. Again, wherever you are listening, if you liked it, be sure to like, comment, share, subscribe. We're on everywhere: Spotify, iTunes, Google, Amazon, Audible. And without much ado, be sure to thank this show's sponsors, and we'll see you next week.